Good afternoon, people. Welcome to this last of 8 breakout sessions on customer success stories. My name is Herbert Blankensteijn. I'm with BNR News Radio. I do radio programs on IT. And I can lead this interview session with my distinguished guest, Oscar Berger of EBN. Please come up. And EBN stands for Energiebeheer Nederland.
Yes.
And that's Energy Management Netherlands. Is that how you translate it?
Well, we tend not to translate it. Just stay with EBN because a lot of people think that we're an energy company.
Oh yeah, and you're not.
We're not in that sense that we deliver energy to the customers.
So what do you do?
So what we do as a company, we're a state oil company, gas and oil company. I sometimes make the joke that we're the Gazprom of the Netherlands.
Oops. That's the people who are sponsoring the Champions League. What's wrong with that?
Yeah, that won't be that. So what we do is exploration and production of gas in the Netherlands, mainly gas. We have a little bit of oil, for example, the Schonebeekveld.
Oh yeah. That's the classic ja-knikker kind of oil pumps.
That's right.
Going up and down.
And we have been doing that for 50 years now. With the first when we found the Groningenveld. So we do have a lot of knowledge about exploration and production of gas.
Okay, but what exactly is your model? How do you work?
Our model is that we decided, and that was 50 years ago, that we're not allowed to explore on our own. So we're looking for partners to do the exploration and the production. So in that case, we're an investment company.
Yeah.
And that's very important.
You let others do the dirty work.
That's others do the dirty work. That's right. That's
very good.
But we have a lot of knowledge because about exploration. A mainly part is finding partners, which is a tough job.
Is it? I mean, there's just a couple. Is Exxon, it's Shell. You name it.
Yeah, but they're already on board. We're already working together. And when you look at the landscape in the Netherlands, we got more and more mature fields. Yeah. That means that we are in decline. And we have to look for new partners. And we see that, for example, Oranje Nassau, there were people who stepped out of Shell and said, well, we can do it more efficiently with less overhead and actually produce in a more efficient manner.
And that's not a company that the royal family takes part in?
Yes.
You might think so, but it's just the name, Oranje Nassau.
No, Oranje Nassau Energy, it's a smaller company. And
okay, so there's new ones now and then.
There are new cars coming in. We got Taka last year, who took over from Shell. No, it comes from Oman.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So that's, it was a very well, it did very well in Oman as an oil company, but not that big. And he came over basically want to explore what, because in Oman it's merely on land, how to do it offshore. And the Netherlands is a small stop if you want to go offshore, because we don't have that, the drilling is not that deep, the North Sea is not that deep. And that makes it very interesting to make the first step. They took over the assets of Chevron, and Chevron moved out. So that's the things we see happening. The larger ones, the majors are moving out.
But so there's newcomers now and then. But is there any real? The last session was about disruption, just now. Is there any real disruption going on, or is it just one company of the same kind replacing another company of the same kind?
Well, it is a different company, but if you look for the disruption, what could have been a disruption would be if we could go to sustainable energy. And that will take some time. And the big question now is, do we need government support to really create a sustainable economy? Yeah. So 2050 is one of the years you hear that we want to be completely sustainable. So then for us, it's interesting if we will be a part of that.
Yeah, because with your model, how can you be? How can you take part in a sustainable economy?
Yeah. Well, we know a lot about drilling, and one way of sustainable energy is pumping up hot water. and bringing it back. It's the geothermal.
Geothermal, yeah.
That's right. And there is some knowledge in different countries around us about geothermal exploration. But if you know a lot about drilling, it's not a very big step.
I can see that.
And so we are exploring that field currently, and we hope that early next year, it depends what the government will do, of course. We have elections next year.
There's some things you can't yet say, I have the impression.
No, that's that we'll see next year.
Okay, that's all right. How big is EBN?
EBN is not that big. We're about 90 people. And that's very much correlates to the fact that we work on the tactical, as an investment company, a tactical and strategic information. Well, you compared it to a couple of years ago, so I think 3 years ago, we got a turnover of 8 billion.
Wow.
With
there's 90 very productive people.
Yeah, that's a very good business model, that's right.
Yeah.
Also, if you include that our profit was 2 billion.
Yeah.
But the last 3 years, a lot of things have changed.
And all that goes into the state's
coffers. Yeah, that's where we built the new A2, I mean, the 5 lanes, that's where...
JSF?
Yeah, that's right. When you go into Belgium, you see the difference. We have gas, and Belgium they don't have. If you come to the road,
okay. What are you using Mendix for anyway?
Mendix is very interesting because we are more on the strategic and the tactical level. So we don't have any operational systems, which is some way an advantage, but somehow also a disadvantage. So because normal oil companies do have systems where they gather their data, and then they use the data and put them in a data warehouse and do all kind of analysis.
Yeah.
If we look at our prospects, we need that data, but we don't have those platforms where we can store them. So what we did with Mendix, it built a registration layer where we put in all the data to be able to analyze.
And where exactly is the data coming from? Is it from the wells or
from your customers? Yeah, well, we work together in joint ventures.
Yeah.
And within the joint ventures, we share data. So we get them from the operator one in the joint venture.
Okay, but is it geological data or is it production data?
All kind of data, and it's all related. So you have an asset, it's a field, and in the field you do the drilling. So you have your drilling information.
Yeah.
But if you start producing, you also get your production volumes. There's a platform on top of it, so you want to know several things about the platform. And so that is...
And the platform in this case, just to be clear, is the drilling platform,
the real physical platform.
We're talking physical platforms, not software platforms.
It's not the Mendix platform.
That's right.
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so that's the data, and the data need to be made available to whom?
Well, to our geologists and our reservoir engineers, so everyone who knows a lot about the subsurface. We combine them with the financial data. And then we build benchmarks. Because we participate in all the fields within the Netherlands, we can tell which operator is doing better than the other one. Okay. And
so you can threaten them if you're not performing better, we go get the guys from Oman.
Well, currently, because that's interesting, the gas price has dropped about 1/3.
Yeah.
And every company is looking for ways to do things cheaper.
Cut costs, yeah.
That's in the oil company. So everyone is looking for that. So it's very interesting information to see why someone is outperforming you and what you could do better in that area.
Yeah. And what is performance in this respect? You can work cheaper, but you may cut corners on quality. Well, or on safety, maybe.
It depends. What we're doing now when it comes to benchmarks is the financial data related to certain activities.
Okay.
It could be how much time does it take for an exploration, how much days does it take to get to the place where you need to be, how much days does the drilling take, and how much time does it take to take your rig and move on. Because these costs are very interesting.
Yeah.
That's a comparison. That's something we're doing. That's more simple. An easy one is the cost of flying helicopters to all the platforms.
Yeah.
And it turned out that it would be nice to share helicopters if you go to work, and not get everyone gets his own helicopter.
Pooling, right?
Yeah, that's the this is a small thing we improved with things like this.
Okay, why Mendix?
Well, when I stumbled over Mendix, and I think it was 2010, I was looking for something to build my registry.
Registry.
So the base, we call it the base registry, as somewhere you put in your data for analysis purposes.
Okay, so it's basically a database.
Yeah, but somewhere to easy, because you get all the data from your partners in different formats, so you need something where you can easily put in a database. Okay. That's the part. And we asked 2 companies to say, well, this a small pilot, this is what we want to build. And one was Mendix, and one was, I won't tell, but another company who said, well, we're going to build it in Java. They both made an offer, and it turned out that Mendix said, well, we can do it in half the time, but also half the price. Which made it...
factor of 4.
Yeah, it was made... well, it's a factor of half the time, it means half the price if you... Because it's more time material. Yeah, sure, and then you do pay for the platform, but yeah, it made it very interesting to give it a try. So we did a pilot back then, and I was very worried about our performance, because code generation doesn't need to be very effective. But it was good enough. So we went from Mendix and I think we're on the platform now for the 6th year. Yeah, and
you're happy with it?
I'm mostly happy with it for things it can do. There are also things it cannot do, and for that we talk to the R&D department. And sometimes they say, "Yo, we are able to fix this for you."
Okay.
And sometimes say, "Well, this is not really what we want to develop." So sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't work. What they did for us, we built something what we, in the end, felt that maybe it's not really should be used for Mendix. It's a simulator for infrastructure.
Yeah.
So we want to know which oil fields are going to go out to production, and then you lose the platforms on the output. And if that's a hub within the North Sea, then you lose a part of the to distribute. Well, if you got a oil field up north, you need to distribute through the pipelines, and if you lose the hub, you get a problem.
Okay, so infrastructure in this example means pipelines for oil and gas.
Yeah, and we needed a tool to do the Monte Carlo analysis to look in the future which platform we're going to lose. And Mendix helped us with the calculation part in that. Calculation not in database but in memory. And that speeded up the process quite a lot. So we were quite happy about that. Another thing I'm very eager if they ever took that space is we're very geographical oriented.
Yeah.
And geographical data is something special, or had been for a long time.
Why?
Yeah, the question is why? Is it just an attribute of a field? But if for a platform it's just an X and a Y. But if
you just mean geographical position.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, and if it's
longitude, latitude. That's
that's easy because it's just the X and the Y. But if you want to draw a field, it's a shape.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's more difficult. And to be able to
curved.
Yeah, it's curved, but it's a lot of points. And to get that properly into Mendix, and then as an attribute towards the data warehouse, that's just something would be very nice.
Okay, you've got that as a request for Mendix 8, I suppose.
That would be. Oh, we've been talking. We found a little bit different solution for that now, but that's. I don't think you should not use it for everything. That is. I'm not using it for my data warehouse, for example. I mean, that's if you have different tooling for different things. Sorry, that's...
okay, that's possible.
Yeah, that should be fine.
But how many apps have you made so far?
Well, we didn't really got to an app. We got an application. So we got 3 larger applications.
Yeah.
And I think from one part, one application has more different users because you can, well, someone is responsible for the platform, someone is responsible for the production related to the platform. So they got their own view to the data, so this makes it easy to register. So you get multiple users on the same application.
Yeah. Can you describe the process, how these applications were created?
Well, they're mainly related when you register, for example, a platform, then you select the license when it's connected to, or if you select production, you're depending on the platform which or the well which the production comes from. So then you're not allowed to add to, you're only allowed to add the production to the existing wells which someone in the organization is responsible for wells. So people are also depending on each other. Your master data management is important there as well. That makes it it's challenging. People have to work together. Yeah, that's very nice.
Okay, and how do you meet that challenge?
Well,
how do you make them work together the way, because you're the boss, I suppose.
No, I'm responsible for IT.
Yeah.
And we agreed that the business is responsible for data. So quality of data, that's the part that... you
can have some border conflicts there,
I
guess.
Oh, we are a small company, so we can work together.
Okay.
But we do have some discussions now and then. But when it comes to master data management, when it comes to integration, they're the major epics in our way of working, in our agile way of working, which I think it's also always a challenge to bring them together in a proper way.
Yeah. You told me during our preparation talks, analytics and business intelligence are central to what you do.
Yeah.
Can you explain that?
Yeah. I think from the business perspective, we should bring in new partners and work with our existing partners to develop more prospects, which is getting more and more difficult in these days because the gas price has gone down by around 1/3. And therefore
making it less cost-effective to find new sources.
Yeah, yeah. But you have to compare that. So if you say where we as a company want to compete compared to, well, the area we live in, so to UK, Denmark.
Yeah.
Now, so the first thing is very important. We co-invest. So drilling is very expensive. You better do a bit. You better participate in 3 or 4 than do it yourself. So if we invest for 40% in every drilling, you can spread your risk.
That's a strategy that's found everywhere in the oil industry.
No. The UK doesn't do it. Denmark doesn't do it either.
Okay.
They just say, you do the work and we'll take the tax. But they're in the UK very good at the part of the tax. And so that's the second part we want to do better in. And we talk to our shareholder and the Department of Economic Affairs. If for certain fields where are difficult to develop, if there can be a different tax regime, which will be beneficiary for everyone, because otherwise no one would do it. And the third one is providing the right data to our partners and see where something could work.
Yeah. That's the analytics business intelligence.
That's the analytics. And so for that, you need a good set of data with good quality, and you need the right instruments like business objects, like Spotfire, to be able to analyze that, as well from a geofactor. And you have the geographical angle, which is included in those products. Yeah,
yeah. And you say the quality of data is key. How do you make sure the data are of the required quality?
That's an interesting, because the first question is, what is the required quality?
Yeah, you can tell me that as well. I don't know if I would understand. But
and so that means that if you want to know the required quality, the business should say something about that. And we agreed to...
What is quality of data anyway? Is that how correct they are?
Well, we try to keep it as simple as possible because we have all theoretical models for that. It's if it represents what you need to do your business. So yes, it must be in time, but we mainly focus, is it the right data? So if the production, if you get a production, it needs to be within 1 month, you need to get the production numbers, and you need to get the last corrections, because over time there will be corrections, to know the right volumes.
So the data need to be recent enough. That's very important.
Recent and correct. That's important.
Okay.
And the other part is we're not responsible for data quality. Their business is.
Okay.
And they got their own data manager to work on that, but it's always a struggle.
Okay, but to answer to my question, it could then be how do you ensure they deliver good quality data? Is make them sign the right contract or something? Is that how it works?
I actually found that the best way of doing that is have the business ask the right questions, and then if you get an answer to that question, which represent data which is not of the right quality, then something happens.
Okay,
and that happens within this is, for me, this is the best way of doing it. So don't start, because we have enormous amount of wells, don't start updating all those wells. Start asking the questions, which of those wells are interesting in a certain area you want to explore. And then you get the questions about quality, and people are motivated to do something about the quality.
Yes.
And the only way, I don't think there's another way of doing this.
Another crucial thing, integration with other systems. What other systems are there, and how do you?
Well, we have the Mendix system.
Yeah.
Of course. Then within Mendix, we built a second application, which is very important for all companies. That is where you store your booking for your reserves and your production, which represents the value of your organization. And then you get your financial. I think they're the most important applications to do your master data management, your integration, build your integrations around for us.
Yeah. Concerning Mendix, how many people in your organization are doing actual hands-on development work in Mendix?
Well, development work within our organization is limited to our supplier.
Okay. Yeah.
So we don't do application development. We only have a small kind of amount of people, and we outsource all our application development activities.
You have it done, yeah.
But we are making the shift now, doing it completely in-house. So getting the people from the different teams, from the data warehouse team, as well from the Mendix team, together as one team, and develop the end product, the epic we define.
Okay, that sounds like an important transition.
That was, we first thought it was that we're always working agile. We had last year. And then we asked someone to have a good look at it. And they said, well, there was something we could improve. And we're doing that the last 2 months, which is quite a step. Because for a normal project leader or used to waterfall, agile is a huge difference.
Yeah.
If you're not allowed to tell people anymore what to do, but be a part of the team, that's it's almost impossible.
Okay, but on the other hand, there are people who did other stuff before and who can now develop programs, develop software.
Not really.
I thought you told me you were starting development in-house.
Yeah, but with the people of our suppliers. So we don't do.
I got that wrong.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's sorry for that. That's the. No, we don't think that. I do think that development still in Mendix is a profession,
Right.
and you need a certain skill set to be able to do that.
Okay, so you stick to having that done outside the company.
Yeah, but in-house, as
Right.
much as possible. If people or they're sitting, the Norwegian developers are sitting there in front. If they could come over every 2 weeks, I'm very happy.
Okay, great. Is innovating, has innovating become easier this way, using Mendix?
I do think, but you don't have something to benchmark on. I only had to start off when I said, I can do it in Java, and take me twice the time. So if everyone is used to developing in Mendix, they're used to that kind of speed of development.
Yeah.
So am I faster than what?
You're doing it only one way.
Yeah, yeah. And because we don't have those operational systems, I had to say the mode 1, mode 2. We only have mode 2.
There was a time, you started in 2010. There was a time before that. Were you with the company before 2010?
Yes.
So you could compare the time before 2010 with the time
but
after?
we didn't have anything before that. I think the major development with EBN is we were part of the DSM, the state mines.
Right. DSM,
we closed our office and we were sold to the Ministry of Economic Affairs. And from then it's almost greenfield.
Right.
Separate from the financial department, we started from scratch.
So is it a meaningful question to ask if Mendix changed the company? Or is that the same, do I get the same kind of answer?
Yeah, that is the same kind of answer, because we closed our Heerlen office and started in Utrecht.
Yeah.
I think from the 90 people, we only have 5 people who were originated from the Heerlen office, from the south. So it's hard to tell what actually contributed to the change, to become more proactive. I think everything helped a little bit on that.
Yeah, that's too bad. But are you innovative enough right now?
What's an interesting question? I asked my business, am I quick enough?
Quick enough. Okay.
Can
Maybe
I do the things I do? Yeah. And I see over the last 5 years, I'm starting to lagging behind.
You're lagging behind?
Yeah, so 5 years, there was not much pressure on what we're doing.
Compared to what then?
Lagging about what the business needs.
Okay.
So the kind of analysis they need. First, we built in Mendix the registry. Then on top, we put in a standard data warehouse. And it took loading the data. We refreshed them once a day. Now the business says, well, once a day, that's not enough. And if the ETL fails, then you have to wait till the end of the day before it's reloaded. And that's the part where we have to improve.
Right.
So that's our architectural questions.
And what's the problem, in your opinion?
The problem is that we shift the data from one place to another, from one model to another, so a relational model to a star model, and we do something in between, and that takes too much time. So we're already exploring different solutions for that, but that's mainly from a technical point of view as a problem. I won't say that the business is getting more demanding, but that's the part we have to keep up with.
Okay, yeah. What are your future plans with Mendix?
Well, currently we're on level 4 on the platform. So there are very nice things in 7.
Mendix 7.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So moving to 7 will bring us some nice features. But also being able to develop smart things, that will take time. And actually, I'm not the one who comes up with that. Because one thing is, entering data is also a tedious job.
Yeah.
And what our people do, they go to partners and they talk about the project they're going to do, and then have to put in all the projects and the dates when a project should move to the next phase. And someone came up with a very smart solution where they said, well, if we build a dynamic input screen If you go to this operator, and I could talk about this project, then I only want to have an input screen for those projects. Well, it's something in SAP you cannot do. But with the Mendix, you can build a dynamic input screen.
Okay.
So, and all those kinds of ideas, they come over time. And that's where I want to see if I can add something.
Yeah, but you're telling me data input is tedious. That sounds like it's being done by people.
Yeah.
Isn't that outdated? You can have sensors take data and automate the whole process of data input. Isn't that possible?
That would be great, but that means that we need operations to take it from.
Yeah.
And we have partners. We have several partners, 27, and they all have different systems. So connect them. It will take some time, but twice a year we have an informal meeting with the IT managers from 7 operators, and we're talking about these kinds of things where we can add value, because if we bring data back to them, which improve their way of working, they're willing to bring the data to us in the form will be useful for us.
Okay.
So we build that relationship over time.
And do the operators notice that you're using Mendix?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
No,
Because I was wondering, are you spreading the word, or is it not an issue there?
I think in the Netherlands, when you look at the major operators, like Wintershall, like NG.
Yeah.
Product development, application development takes place in Paris, takes in Kassel in Germany. So the Dutch part of it get all the applications from them. So that's even the NUM is depending on what Shells is doing.
Right.
So it would be a rather long route to go to Kassel and say, well, this is something smart.
Yeah.
On other areas, we do work together and look for similar solutions. But in this field, I think it's a too long a road.
Okay, that's clear. Let's see if there are questions from the audience,
Yep.
right? Anybody have a question for Oscar Berger from EBN? Hands, please. Everybody exhausted? Questions. There's somebody pointing that way. There's one. Ah, sorry. Please tell us who you are. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Toon van der Put. You told that you the disruptive thing to do to be go into sustainables. Do you already have a program for that, so that you would integrate wind data or other data into your set of what you try to manage?
I think first things first. First is being allowed to do it, and that's the process we're in. And if you're allowed to do it, you can build the systems to support that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Next, please. Once, twice. No questions? Yes, there's one question there. Please tell us who you are.
My name is Pieter van Balen, Mendix R&D, integration team. So, as I understood correctly, did you have several Mendix apps running? Is that true?
We have 3.
3, yeah?
3 applications, yes, that's right.
So I was wondering, what do you use to make them communicate with each other? Is that an existing Mendix platform feature, or did you build that in a custom way?
The web services.
The web services.
The web services are used to, for low volumes of data, web services is very good to build integration. When you look to integration with the data warehouse, we're substituting the web services with views. So that's something else. If we're talking about it was very interesting for us if we could generate views from the platform. They're just a little bit quicker. And then you don't have the risk for timeouts and all that kind of things.
Right, okay, so that's actually an issue you ran into.
Yeah,
timeouts
right.
and queues. Okay,
Yeah.
that's good to know. Thank you.
Anybody else at this stage? No? In that case, thank you very much. Thank you, Oscar Berger, for a nice
Thank you, Herbert.
piece of information.
Okay.